Yerevan's holiday season Trinity. Article by Maria Gunko. Published on December 29, 2025, on EVN Reports Lifestyle magazine Salt. Central Yerevan transforms in late November. Elaborate light displays climb building facades, giant illuminated objects hang from lampposts, and oversized gift boxes appear on sidewalks. Artificial snow dusts shop windows where silver and gold ornaments catch the light. The color scheme, red, green, gold, silver, repeats endlessly. Storefronts, street decorations, and restaurant interiors all adopt the same unsubtle palette. Decorated trees multiply weekly, each claiming a slightly different aesthetic lineage. The overall effect is maximalist and loosely coordinated. A single block might present classical Christian ornaments on one corner, inflatable cartoon characters on the next, and purely abstract light sculptures on the third. Religious iconography appears beside secular winter motifs. Soviet-era nostalgia blends with contemporary global commercial imagery. This is Yerevan preparing for winter holidays drawn from different traditions. Armenian Christmas, Soviet New Year, and celebrations influenced by Western Christianity. Together, they create a festive period that stretches from late December through mid-January. January 6th, Armenian Christmas. The Armenian Apostolic Church observes Christmas on January 6th, commemorating both the birth and baptism of Christ in a single celebration known as Theophany. This represents the oldest stratum, Christianity as it was practiced before the Great Schism, before Rome and Constantinople divided the calendar along with the faith. Attending midnight Mass at Holy Echmiadzin means stepping into a ritual that has remained largely unchanged for over 16 centuries. The liturgy proceeds in classical Armenian, incomprehensible to many contemporary speakers yet immediately recognizable. Candlelight flickers against stone walls. Incense drifts slowly through the space. The congregation stands. There are no pews in traditional Armenian churches. The service offers little accommodation to the present moment, proceeding according to its own internal logic. That same logic, at times incomprehensible, extends beyond the ritual itself and shapes how the Armenian Apostolic Church appears in public life. Against the crises of governance in Armenia, the Church remains one of the country's most trusted institutions, a symbolic and moral reference point, even as its role is increasingly and openly debated. Questions of influence and proximity to political power surface regularly, particularly among younger and more secular Armenians. Participation in Christmas liturgy, however, does not necessarily indicate uncritical belief or institutional support, so much as it signals attachment to continuity, shared reference points, and a sense of historical grounding. After church services, families gather for elaborate feasts. The table fills with traditional dishes: gapama, korovats, harissa, trout, lentil or bean pilaf, dishes of celebration, of abundance, and gathering. Conversations stretch across generations and hours. January 6th belongs primarily to the family. Gift-giving exists but remains restrained, focused on symbolic gestures rather than accumulation. The emphasis stays on kinship and ritual, not consumption. New Year's Eve, the Soviet ghost that stayed. The Soviet Union's ideological project required replacing religious holidays with secular equivalents. Christmas was rebranded as New Year's Eve, the birth of Christ replaced by the turning of the calendar. Ded Moroz, Grandfather Frost, assumed the role filled elsewhere by Father Christmas, accompanied by his granddaughter, Snegorochka. Only the Christmas tree survived largely intact. What the Soviet state intended as substitution became, over time, addition. After the USSR collapsed, many Soviet rituals faded or lost relevance. New Year's Eve did not. Whether genuinely embraced, valued as a secular celebration in a pluralistic society, or simply enjoyed, it persisted. Yerevan's Republic Square, illuminated throughout December, reaches peak brightness on December 3rd. Shops fill with Soviet-style decorations, glass baubles, tinsel, figurines of Ded Moroz. The aesthetic differs distinctly from Western Christmas kitsch, carrying nostalgia for those who remember Soviet childhoods and a retro charm for younger generations. Families gather for New Year's Eve feasts that rival January 6th in abundance. The menu differs: but common dishes include Olivier salad, herring under a fur coat, and champagne. For the truly committed, a visit to Yerevan's Soviet club completes the experience. And of course, tangerines. Their scent became synonymous with winter holidays during Soviet times. At midnight, fireworks erupt across the city. Toasts are made. Ded Moroz appears at children's parties and corporate events. Gift-giving on New Year's Eve leans toward the practical and substantial. This is the holiday for large purchases: electronics, jewelry, items that signal commitment and investment. Where January 6th emphasizes restraint and symbolism, December 31st celebrates material abundance. December 25th, the cosmopolitan option. The newest layer, December 25th, arrived gradually. Diaspora Armenians brought Western traditions during visits. International media normalized the date through films and music. Global commerce expanded the season's commercial reach. Walking through Yerevan in late December, one encounters Santa Claus alongside Ded Moroz, shops selling both Gouda and imported German Christmas bread. Cafes serve gingerbread-flavored drinks. Restaurants advertise Christmas Eve menus. Shopping malls loop seasonal pop standards. The commercial sector has embraced this date most enthusiastically. International hotels host Christmas brunches. English-language schools organize secret Santa exchanges. Expat communities recreate familiar rituals. Among the three celebrations, this one remains the most optional, taken up by choice rather than inheritance. The Trinity of the holiday season. The holiday sequence takes on the character of a holy trinity. Three distinct occasions, each with its own meaning and rhythm, bound into a single temporal structure. During this period, Yerevan enters a state of extended suspension, as routine life is repeatedly interrupted by gatherings, meals, and exchanges. Bakeries operate without pause. Gouda emerges from ovens from mid-December through mid-January. Alcohol consumption rises. Families circulate between relatives' homes. Children accumulate gifts from multiple occasions. The economy receives its annual stimulus. Everyone complains about weight gain and expense while secretly enjoying the excess. If suffering is part of tradition, so is indulgence. This layered celebration reveals something essential about contemporary life in Armenia: its comfort with multiplicity, its refusal of either-or thinking, its capacity to honor tradition while embracing change. It unfolds against a backdrop of unresolved questions about authority, belief, and power, where religion remains deeply embedded in culture, even as its public role is openly contested. The three occasions coexist not as competing ideologies, but as complementary expressions of a culture that has learned to carry its history without being crushed by its weight. By mid-January, the lights in Yerevan will come down, the trees will disappear, and the city will inevitably return to its usual rhythm. The decorations will have served their purpose without committing to a single occasion. But for now, let's enjoy this chaotic and jolly abundance. Happy holidays, whichever you prefer.